Hey everyone, it's Mr. Miller here introducing our next unit and what we're going to be covering. This is really going to help us as we move forward. So today I'm just going to show you a quick video on finding the LCM, which is the least common multiple, okay? Least common multiple and least common denominator, same thing, just when we have one in the denominator, then it's an LCD. So flashback to, I don't know, third grade here. When you're adding fractions like this, you need a least common denominator, right? LCD. So you would say, okay, 12, I need to rewrite these as 3 over 12 and 4 over 12, and then I can add them together and get 7 over 12. That's essentially what we're going to be doing next unit, just Algebra 2 level. All right, here we go. Here's two terms separated by a comma, and I'm going to find the LCD, okay? Now, when you find well, technically LCM because they're not in the denominator, but same term, LCM, okay? All right, first step you're going to want to do always is factor. Now, there's nothing to factor here, but I'm going to show you how we can use factors to find the least common multiple, okay? All right, 6 is 3 and 2. X squared is just x times x, and then y squared is y times y. All right, over here we have 4 is 2 and 2, and then x cubed is x times x times x, and then y is just y. Okay, when you're building your LCM, it has to include every factor from this side and from this term over here. So when I start to build my LCM, I'm going to have a 3, I'm going to have a 2, I need 2 x's, and I need 2 y's. All right, so that covers everything here. It has to cover all of those terms. Now, I'm going to go to the right over here, and it has to have 2 2's. Well, guess what? I only have 1 2, so I need to add another 2 into there, okay? It also has to include 3 x's. Well, I only have 2. I need to add 1 more x. And then it needs to cover 1 y. Well, I have 2 y's, so I'm good, okay? Now, let's rewrite this a little cleaner. I have 3 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 2, which is 12. 3 x's, so that's x cubed, and then y squared. So that's my least common multiple, 12x cubed y squared. It doesn't always have to be that long. We can take a look at 6 and 4 and say my LCM is 12. And you can see I'm going to have the highest exponent, okay? I have 2 x's here, 3 x's here, so I'm going to have 3 x's. I'm going to need the highest of the two, and then I'm going to need 2 y's to cover all of those terms, okay? So I showed you the longer process and how we're going to be able to use factors. All right, next one here. We have 2 terms. We want to find the least common multiple between these 2 terms. All right, we're always going to start step 1, factor, okay? We're using factors to build these LCMs, so let's go to factor. We've spent a lot of time practicing. This first term here, we have a binomial. Always start with a GCF, that's right. Pull out an x, and if we do that, I'm left with x minus 1. Okay. Over here, I have a trinomial that I can factor into 2 numbers that add to 2 multiply to 3. Well, I'm going to have, let's see, it's going to be 3 and 1. I'm going to have to do plus 3 minus 1. All right, when I'm building my LCM, I'm going to have an x. I'm going to have an x minus 1. And then I'm going to go over here. I have to have an x plus 3, so I have to add it. And I have to have an x minus 1. Well, guess what? I already have an x minus 1, so that term is covered. That factor is covered. Okay, so there is my LCM. All right, let's take a look at one more here. Okay, step 1, always factor. So we're going to factor this first term, and again, sometimes it might just be a GCF, and that's fine. So I can actually pull out a 15 from 15 and 60, and if I do that, I'm left with x plus 4. All right, the second one, I have a trinomial. So let's see, let's start with x and x. 2 terms that add to 9 multiply to 20, 5 and 4. All right, so let's build our LCM. And again, you might notice there's some overlap here. That's good. We want our least common multiple, not just a common multiple. So it has to have a 15. It has to have an x plus 4. And now let's go over to this right-hand side. It has to have an x plus 4. It already has it, so I don't need to add it again because it's covered, okay? We're creating a least common multiple, so don't add it again. And it has to have an x plus 5. So I do need to add that factor, okay? So again, you're going to take a look at each factor here and build the LCM based off of those. All right. So we have a quick Wednesday lesson that you'll see. Thursday, we are going to take a look at problems like this. Now, don't be scared. What you just learned is going to help you with problems like this. But remember, when we add or subtract fractions, we need a least common denominator. We need a common denominator. And what you did, what you just learned in this video and this little homework assignment will help you with that. Have a good week. I will see all of you on Thursday or Friday. Bye.